Welcome back to the Hoops Temple podcast. My name's Nathan. Joining me from New Zealand, Dylan Williamson. How's it going?
Good morning, doing good. Do you know it was my birthday yesterday?
We did. I texted Aaron about that.
Thank you. Thank you for texting me as well. That's the person that you should be texting on the birthday.
Join us from Sacramento, Aaron.
Nate told me today I was going to talk about on the pod. I didn't think Nate was going to be here, and then he crashed the party. He totally threw me off.
Yeah, I canceled all of my birthday plans just to be available for this podcast. My friends and family are like, "We got to go out. It's your birthday. You're turning 20 something," and I'm like, "No. I need my rest. I've got an important podcast tomorrow."
That's how you know that he's turning closer to 20-something 30 than 20-something 21.
Let's just say if I was in the NBA and I was a 6'8" forward with a 7'2" wingspan, but I still hadn't learned how to shoot, I would be on my way to Germany right now.
I texted
29.
I texted Aaron because I was like, "Yeah, make sure you wish him happy birthday. Do something about this." It's probably yesterday's his birthday because Facebook gave me the update that today is your birthday, and we live in different days, you and I. So
yeah, it's incredible that Facebook can't work it out that different countries have different dates at the same time, and you should adjust.
How would they do that? How would they send me an update that hey, it's now crossed over into midnight for Dylan, so it's his birthday in his country, but it's still not his birthday here.
Or it's just tied to my profile. So whenever it's, showing as my birthday for my profile, it shares throughout. But it does mean that I actually get a heads up because I'm in the future, of course. And so I get to know when your birthday is the day before.
That's fair.
So that I cannot text you about it with more
notice. I know we didn't get you anything for your birthday.
Wait, you didn't?
No, but I did get myself a Steven Adams Thunder jersey, which feels like a birthday present.
Yeah, you're spreading the good word. That's all that I could possibly want.
Yeah.
Oh, that is pretty nice. It's for you. It's for you. It's for him for you. You got to give for you for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when your girlfriend gets you pictures of herself, both to have on your workplace desk or something. I think that's it's for you, but it's also for her to stake the claim. And so, it's for her, for you. But gentlemen, we have something for us, and that is the top 26 through 50 players for the upcoming season, our projections, our future crystal ball readings. And let's kick things off with Aaron on our number 26 man, Pascal Siakam.
No one here watched the playoffs. I was by far the highest guy on Siakam. I had him 21st, Dylan at 33, Nate at 27. I feel like Siakam's versatility is really so important come playoff time, but also what he excels at helped the Pacers be great. The way he is one of the best transition players. He's great finishing on the rim. He somehow is one of the best shooters come playoff time. He's very versatile defensively. Allowed the Pacers to play this kind of frenetic small ball style and maybe underrated defensively even. I forget. I think Rick Carlisle said he was a Draymond Green-esque defender. I mean, they really they talk about him like he was their defensive anchor. And I just feel like the amount of aspects of the game he affects should put him in this close to all NBA level player.
I don't disagree with the idea of that for last season, but we're projecting for next season. And I still have Palm Springs Raptors in memory and what it looked like with a Pascal-led team. And it's just Pascal is one of the best number twos, and the way he plays off of Halliburton in my mind was so beautiful. And he could cover. He could be the defensive guy for quarters. He could be the offensive guy. He could do a little shot creation for times. He could set people up, but he will always find a way to make an impact. But I don't know that he will consistently find a way to make the same impact long enough to really drive winning. And I'm not too worried about how much of a playoff player he is because I don't know that India is making the playoffs this year.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do want to mention, I feel like in the finals, he put so much pressure on the Thunder. They really didn't have anyone to guard him, and I thought he was excellent. I have a question. If you guys were Indiana, do you trade Siakam?
I take feelers.
If he's being valued as the 26th best player in the league, and I can get like 4 first-round picks, then yes, I absolutely would.
You should, right?
Yeah, it's almost like the Boston approach, right? Where they've sold off some of their guys. We're like, okay, this year we're not doing anything, and so let's get some assets, and then when our guys back, then we can use those assets to rebuild. Siakam's getting older.
He's gonna be 33 by the time they're good again.
Yeah. I'm looking down the list and I'm just like, I'm not sure who you trade him for that's like in this relative range that makes sense for both teams. Like
picks. Just picks.
But do you really want picks if you're Indiana?
Yeah, you're gonna not be very good this year, and then you use those picks later to rebuild around your star in 2 years once he's back to being a top 10 NBA player.
Could you eat like a bad contract? How long is Paul George's contract? Is always so much worse than I think it is. In my head, it's like 2 years, but he's gonna be, I think, like the ninth highest paid player in 2028. Yeah,
they actually broke the CBA just to sign him. It's 7 years at $80 million a year.
It really, every time I check, every time I'm like, oh man, like, could this be a Paul George? Like, take this contract? Like, no one's taking that.
Yeah, and you're checking in, and there's $400 million guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm looking at the names and I'm like, maybe if Atlanta looks really good this year, could you try to pull off a Pascal for Jalen Johnson and some picks? And like, but in that circumstance, if Atlanta's looking good, it's probably because Jalen Johnson's looking good, and then I don't know why Atlanta would do that.
I wouldn't do that if I'm Atlanta personally. Just at the stage they're at, and
I mean, if it looks like he could be the upgrade to get them to the chip, maybe. You gotta get a chip when you can.
Okay.
Number 27 time?
Yeah.
Dylan, you're the high man. Darius Garland, let's talk.
We talked about last week the most valuable skill set in the NBA, which is driving efficient and elite offense. And Darius Garland combines like all aspects of that in every statistical way. He's got a high usage, ultra high scoring efficiency. He's a very good passer and playmaker. And whenever he's on the floor, the Cavs are one of the best offenses in the entire NBA. And there's a statistical indicator that suggests that they're not so great when he's not on the floor. And so, like, a lead guard who can create good offense is incredibly valuable, and he is that kind of player.
He's a great passer. Phenomenal at orchestrating the offense. Really good shooter. 40%, 7 on 7 attempts. The Cavs are the best offense in the league. One of the best offenses, I think, ever. Like they were really up there. And I think the decision making just makes me feel better about Garland. Like I really feel comfortable when he has the ball, and the shot making ability kind of puts Cleveland up above the rest of the other offenses.
Also, 6th in clutch player of the year. I am the low man here, and I think part of that is just, listen, Cleveland has 4 incredibly good players on this. And if we're doling out credit and we're doling out blame, we can't have like the top 3 of them in this high of pedigree. Yeah, and Dylan, I just look at you with Mitchell at 9, and Evan Mobley, what was it, 10? And then Garland at 24. And I'm like, if we've got 9, 10, and 24 on the same team, how are they not steamrolling to the championship?
Well, they actually were. They steamrolled the entire NBA season. They were the second best team in the league in net rating behind the all-time great Thunder.
Was Garland hurt as well? But like Garland got hurt, and Mobley got hurt, and Mitchell got hurt. I mean, it is an all-time bad injury timing. I wanted to note, I said that they were one of the best offenses ever. I almost undersold that. 7.2 relative offensive rating would be 15th all time, ahead of the 71 Bucks and right behind the 87 Lakers. Like they're running Showtime Lakers offenses, and like Garland's at the helm of that.
So what I'm trying to bait Dylan into here is making a bold finals prediction that is going to be Cleveland winning the title.
I could. I see them as on the same tier as OKC. I really do.
I mean, they're clearly the best team in the East.
Okay, I'll take
He's
it.
waiting. Yeah, go ahead. Make your prediction. Cavs win the championship.
Yeah,
Cavs-
Cavs title.
Cavs are going to the finals.
They should. They should have last year.
You heard it here, LeBron James. You should have opted out and signed with Cleveland if you really want that that next chip.
He'd make them worse.
Yeah, it would take the ball out of
Do you-
Garland's hand more often.
Do you think he could trade Darius Garland for Kevin Love?
I think LeBron would try.
What's Kyrie up to? Could we?
Yeah. Could we trade Darius Garland for Kyrie?
Is Chris
Can we
Bosh
trade
still
Evan
available?
Mobley for Anthony Davis? Let's bring it all back together. We'll destroy Cleveland once again.
What's Kyle Korver up to these days?
Yeah. Kyle Korver is head coach. He's already had JJ Redick, so you got to go down to the next
Next best
spot up
shooting.
shooter.
Yeah, of that
Extraordinaire.
era. Well, on the note of shooting, Ja Morant. I am precipitously high on Ja, which is an uncomfortable position to be. But
Oh my god.
you know, Ja's downhill force attacking the basket, I still find him to be just one of the most important things when it gets going. And yes, last season, adjusting to a new offense, firing your coach mid-season, bringing in a lot of rookies was definitely a time of transition in my mind. Also coming back from injuries, suspensions. Now that you've had somewhat of a tumultuously normal season, as good as that is, I do think I'm projecting Ja to recapture some of the magic that he had a few years back, just moving further away from injuries and suspensions, having, in theory, a stable coaching environment that he likes more, supposedly. I think we're expecting a good bounce back year. And there was a time where Ja was poised to kind of be the face of the young NBA or the kind of next wave of stars, or at least among that crowd. Like there was the Ja or Anthony Edwards conversations, and I don't think we're going to get back there, but I think we're going to get closer to that than where we've been the last couple of years with Ja.
It was him and Ant for a while. It is interesting for some of these guys that are injured all the time. I kind of disregarded that and just liked the final product, but you can't be injured all the time, and I don't really like the final product as well. Like he can't shoot, and he doesn't generate assists to his teammates relative to how much he has the ball like I'd like him to do. And he's never healthy. He misses 20 games a year every single season. The off the court stuff is kind of it is concerning as well. And I had him. I was the low man at 32.
Dylan, you're splitting the difference. Any Ja takes?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's been a while. Like, we're talking the 21-22 season was the last time that he, like, showed sort of, I guess 22-23 showed some stuff as well. Like, the ability to, that same thing I was talking about, of being the number one option on a very good offense. The usage is incredibly high, the passing, the plays that he's able to create with that downward pressure that you're talking about, defensively a negative, obviously, and guaranteed to miss 20 to 30 games a year, sometimes by his own fault, sometimes not. But like when healthy, is another one of these guys that you put him on the floor and you're going to have a very good offense.
The whole media tour they did after the season about how they would beat OKC. It just, I think it's fitting for what the Grizzlies have been, what Ja has been. It's just a lot of kind of empty promises and what ifs. And looking at his on-off number for his career, it's just plus 2.5. Like even if he's giving you 30 a night, even if he's like the most athletic downhill guard in the league, like just the end product isn't as moving, isn't as moving as you think it might be. And someone who's just like, who is literally just more efficient, less wasted movements on the floor, much more like Darius Garland. is better.
So what I will say is when he was at his peak, 22, 23, in 22, he put up 58 dunks to 57 games played. So basically a dunk a game. The next year, 55 dunks, 61 games played, still pretty close to that 1 dunk per game number. Now he's at 17 for his 50. And you can kind of just take that as like an overarching example of his kind of shot quality, where in those seasons he was getting close to or over 30% of his shots in the 0 to 3 feet range, 33% in 22, 29% in 23. And now last season he is at 23%. And I do think that driving efficient offense for Ja will require attacking the basket, whether or not that's dunks or just really strong takes. And so I think that's what I'm looking for the most is, can he get downhill in the same way that he used to? And if he does, whether that be on fast break, whether it be attacking the rim, I think we're going to see a return to efficient offense. But that is a gamble and that is a bet, and that is why we are projecting.
Draws a lot of fouls too, which is still very valuable as an offensive player.
Mm-hmm. And hey, Aaron, he took 6 heaves last season. 50 games, 6 heaves. I know how you like the heaves.
Ethical player. Ja Morant,
I'm
very picture of ethical basketball.
I'm big into heaves. I think the more heaves that you take, the better of a person you are.
Mm.
Speaking of heaves, Aaron, you've got James Harden at 24. You out-heaved Dylan on your James Harden love. What's going on?
You don't like James Harden? He is one of the best offensive engines available still. Like, he still is one of the 5 best isolation scorers on a point per possession basis. Like, he's still an elite 3-point shooter. He's an amazing passer. He made Ivica Zubac look like an all-star. Like, Dylan has Zubac 24th because James Harden helped that happen.
James Harden was giving him perfect pocket passes all season.
All season. Like, he really, for a team that was very defensive oriented, he was able to kind of a one-man show to a great offense, as Kawhi missed a ton of games. And he's not going to play well in the playoffs ever, but it's like, all right, like, that's fine. Don't play game 6 and 7. The key is you have to win the series in 4 to 5 games. Then you won't get bad Harden games.
117 offensive rating last season, plus 7.4, and his second best player was for most of the season was either post-hook god of Ivica Zubac or Norm Powell, who's like a 6th man.
Yeah. And defensively, he really is not. He's just not that bad. His hands are good. Like, he stays fairly engaged given the offensive the load he's carrying. Like, you target him because he's old and he's the lead offensive creator, but there are far, far worse defensive players.
Yeah. And he's really strong. Like, you're not ever going to be able to just like go through him.
Yeah, his post defense all scores really high because you can't post James Harden. He's had too many cheeseburgers.
Now, if you set a screen, I would guess. I wonder if there is a number on this, which is like percentage of screens gotten over, because his would be literally 0. Like, he will never ever try to get over a screen. So there is that, and then there's, but yeah. You can build good defenses around him, which is a limit that certain other very good offensive players, have against them.
Nate, why do you hate him?
I just think he's another year older, another year closer to regression. There's not a lot of chance in my mind that James Harden is really going through the LeBron treatment of keeping his body right and tight for this off season, and so just I just keep expecting more of a regression from some of the older guys. I'm surprised I wasn't lower on more of the old guys, but I think you guys have outflanked me on a few of the other really old guys too.
Just to that point, Nate, I've got inside sources that I don't know if all the details, but I've heard that James Harden's been spending a lot of time with dancers this off season, and so maybe he's learning, ways to sort of stretch their body, keep nimble, and so on. I don't have a lot of the details, but I've heard he's spending a lot of time with dancers.
He's taking ballet lessons. I also wanted to say Daryl.
Yeah, what kind of
Morey
dancers?
is
Like I said, I don't have all the details. Like maybe it's ballet, maybe it's nimbleness, hip hop. Have you seen the agility that some of those guys have? So if it's anything like that, I imagine it's becoming a more agile. He's taking tips that way.
So on a scale of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to Meta World Peace, how's he going to do on his eventual appearance on Dancing with the Stars?
I think Kareem was pretty good, wasn't he?
I don't know how good either of them.
I feel like I have a vague memory of him being like pretty impressive. I actually never watched the show, but
wouldn't that be hard? Would his partner have to be like 7 feet tall as well? Like surely you can't have like Kareem with some 5'4".
He's probably already like
woman.
his 50s, but
oh, Kareem was like in his 60s or 70s by the time.
Yeah,
he was
at
on
that
the
point,
show.
he's probably not doing all too much. I wanted to say that Daryl Morey is a basketball terrorist, and what he did to James Harden, I will never forgive him for. Like James Harden was the best offensive player you could find in 2020, and then he got mad at Daryl Morey and gained 100 pounds and has never been the same since. Like his hamstrings don't hold up. Like he has not lost that weight. Seriously, he has not lost that weight. Wait, I have a great question. Well, hold off for 1 second. Let me find this. How many dunks do you think, since leaving Houston, how many dunks does James Harden have?
Oh, you texted me this question the other day.
Total dunks while playing.
Dylan,
I guess the final 8 games in Houston onwards.
I'll let you answer, Dylan.
I watch a lot of James Harden because I'm a Clippers fan, and I watch a majority of Clippers games. I literally cannot picture James Harden dunking in a Clippers jersey. I'm gonna go boo.
It's 16 in total. He had 4 last year, but that's 16
I literally
dunks.
cannot picture it.
How many dunks do you think he had in 2020? He had 20 dunks. So the final season in Houston, he's dunking it 20 times. He had average double-digit dunk. He had 45 dunks in 2014. Like he was a very athletic shooting guard. He put it on this weight because he's mad at Daryl Morey. He went to McDonald's like too many times, and he never lost. He can't jump anymore.
He's a liar and a terrorist.
Daryl Morey is a liar. Like going to China and saying Daryl Morey is a liar, and I'll never play for him again. All right.
Speaking of another terrorist, Trae Young, what he's done to New York City, comes in at number 20 or number 30. I'm the high man here with Trae Young. Apparently, you all just hate teammate shot quality metrics, which show that Trae Young on versus off generates the greatest improvement of teammate shot quality metrics.
Yeah, he had last season. He had a 45% assist percentage. So 45% of the baskets that were scored by his teammates were off of one of his assists.
Yeah, and how many more screen assists does he add to that?
Of the shots.
You guys have lost your mind.
And then he.
This is without a doubt like the worst defensive player in the league, and he straight up quit on his team at the end of the last season. And I just like don't understand. I don't understand why. Like you had him at 20. You had him at 20. Like there's no way on earth I'd rather have like I don't know. I'm not. I'd rather not have him on my team at all for any situation.
Listen, we know you're a Sacramento Kings fan. You don't believe in having point guards on your team. You just get rid of them right and left. But they're useful for the rest of the league.
If I think about like in the playoffs, like the way guys get hunted, and it really is a league of weakest link. Your flaws are the most important thing about you in the biggest games. Sometimes it isn't your strengths. And oh my God, like Trae Young would be just food at this point. I can't see it. Maybe a couple of years ago in 2021, it was a little bit different. And but now I think like teams are too deep. Like he'll get attacked.
This is one of the rare situations where we're gonna have like a definitive answer on Trae Young this season. Like we're gonna know for sure whether he can be part of a really good team or if he can't, because the Hawks have put a really good team around him, and they've put a lot of good defensive players around him. And so if they have another season where they've got a theoretically good defensive roster and they're the 20th best defense, then we're gonna know for sure. But if Trae Young is the best player on a top 3 team in the East, he's diming up half of his teammates' shots and he's scoring efficiently and he's able to fit in and make a decent defense with all these good defensive players around him. We're gonna get a definitive answer on whether or not you can win with Trae Young this year.
I feel like we have that answer. I mean, he's been in the league since 2019. Since 2020, the Hawks win 47% of their games with him. Any guesses on what they win without him? It's 47%. It's the same fucking number, guys. It's the same number. Like his total on offer, his career is 2.8. It's the same thing with Ja Morant, where even though like the numbers are gaudy and like he puts up 39, he averaged 10 assists. Like the final product is he makes the Hawks just like a little bit better. Just a bit.
I mean, the big difference is that previous Hawks teams, they've been really bad on defense, whether he was on or off. Whereas this season, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Kristaps Porzingis, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, like they've got all of these plus defenders. Like they're gonna be a good defensive team if he doesn't sandbag them the way that some people, maybe you, think that he will. And so they're always a good offense when he's on, and they're going to be a good defense as well.
I think the Hawks, that's my issue, though. The Hawks will be good, and he's going to get so much fucking credit for that. And he's so mad about it. They're going to win like 55 games. Like Trae Young's going to get MVP buzz, and I'm not going to be able to sleep at night.
Well, I think we're going to go down a very similar rabbit hole to what we've experienced with other incredibly good offensive players who are kind of defensive liabilities, like Allen Iverson, like Derrick Rose, who had just amazing defenses built around them. I don't think we're going to hit near the stratosphere of those 2011 Bulls or the 01 76ers, but that has always been how you build around a small guard, is you have to build just a wall of defenders. And that's how the Knicks were good last season. It's not like Brunson became a capable defender. It's we paired him with Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. When things got tough, we needed to shift down because we couldn't have him at the 1 and Cat at the 5. So we brought in Mitchell Robinson to have more rim protection. Trae Young is an offensive generator who has crippled things on defense. Well, what if we can cover the crippling defense and just appreciate the offense?
The thing with the Knicks comparison is they were average defensively last year. Like they're just an average defensive team, and like the amount of work you have to do to make up for. I know they're doing it twice because they have Cat at the 5. Like that's a problem with Brunson at the 1, and so it is a lot. It's like to get like basically 2 of the 3 best wing defenders you can find, like OG and Mikal, are always scored really highly. Like they're gathering all these pieces, and Mitchell Robinson's an insane rim protector, and he's gigantic, and it's like, and they're just okay defensively. So I'm interested to see with Atlanta.
I mean, you mentioned it, but I think that it's not Jalen Brunson that's dragging them down there. It's Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier to cover up a bad defensive point guard than it is to cover up a bad defensive center. And that's why I think the Hawks are going to be a good defense, even with the worst defensive point guard in the NBA.
What if that defensive point guard was 170 pounds? It's just like, I don't know. I really think the floor is so low, but I think we ranked him appropriately. Like I probably was too low, and where we end up like 32 or something is probably about right. 33.
30.
30. I'm ahead of myself.
Although we do have him in a technical tie with another guy that I'm the high man on, Bam Adebayo, who probably has the inverse problem of he individually is a really good defender, but not a great offensive player. I kind of
think he's washed. I think Bam's washed. I think it's over. I was the low man on Bam. Like I looked at this like, how can I get Bam Adebayo lower? He's so not good offensively, and he's actually not as good defensively as you might think. Like he's very versatile, but he doesn't like bring any.
He gets He gets like the Anthony Davis defensive praise where it's like he can do all of these things, but like you want him to just be like great at one particular thing, which he's not. And so like casuals, or even that one step above casuals, like NBA Twitter kind of level, like will always love Bam Adebayo because like he has no defensive weaknesses. Like he can do everything, but like he's good at everything, but he's not great at anything. And so having Bam Adebayo doesn't get you a great defense on his own the way it does with some other great defensive centers. And then like the offense, it's almost similar. Like he's got all these skills, like he can handle, he can pass, he can, take guys off the dribble, but it's not efficient.
Yeah, he can dribble well, but not like good enough to go around a lot of elite big man defenders. He can't post up against a lot of the stronger big man defenders. He can guard guards better than most bigs, but not like at a level that's something you particularly want. And he's good enough at it that you kind of live with the switch, which as opposed to trying to scramble or scrum switch to get him back to protecting the paint. And then he don't really have another guy behind him unless Kel'el Ware really takes off. And I considered Ware for a top 100, just kind of playing the odds, playing the bet for improvement, but I couldn't quite get there. I think Bam is just solid. I think we keep wanting Bam to be higher, and if we look back at like past years, we've kept trying to have him higher. Last year we had him at 23. The year before, let's see where Bam was. The year.
Like just looking at this, did you actually take Bam over Jimmy Butler?
I think so.
No chance. Again, I think I messed up that in my rankings. I guess Butler's getting old. That was kind of my thing. Like even Zubats, like I don't know.
Yeah, like with Zubats, you're guaranteed to be a top 5 defensive team because his rim protection and rebounding is so elite that you just guaranteed that floor. Whereas Bam doesn't have that one thing that's going to guarantee you a certain level.
And Bam's offense is so sad because he's not good around the rim and he just takes a lot of mid-range shots, but he's only kind of okay at those.
Yeah, like he loves taking like short mid-range shots, like the 3 to 10 range, and then it goes in at like 47%, which is like pretty good for that kind of shot, but not very good for just like if that's the thing that you're taking all the time is a 47% shot when, other players your size are getting to the rim and shooting 70%.
All right, I tell you what, guys. Since I'm the high man, I'm willing to start bumping him back, and I'm having to go like guy by guy, but I also don't want to affect our overall rankings too much. So I've slid him back a few spots now. So instead of him being the 31st by our weighted or our unweighted averages, I dropped him a couple spots. He is now 32nd.
Wow, really moving mountains here. Thanks, Nate.
Yeah. But, I mean, the player that's moved above him, I feel like, is very instructive.
The player who's now moved above him is Jaren Jackson Jr., who I struggle with at times as just a defensive force who gets a lot of blocks, but also still fouls a lot and who doesn't rebound. And like he'll go for things, and it can affect the shot. But, I'd love to see the area impact stats of like when he's nearby, do guys adjust their shots and miss? Because what we know is that he doesn't get the rebounds, and so then the offensive team gets the rebounds more frequently than they do against other really good defenders. And so it's like, is it really making a huge impact defensively with Jaren? I guess, Aaron, you're incredibly low on Jaren. Is there something you want to say?
He shoots less than 40% from the field in the playoffs. He doesn't rebound. He averages 4.5 fouls per game per 36 minutes. That's kind of like the end. That's kind of like the end take. Like I think he is good. I think he is a good defensive player. Yeah, that's kind of the end. Like he defends the rim. He averaged 5 rebounds a game against OKC. He shot 38% from the field. All right. I mean, I guess the big thing is, Dylan, why is he so good to you?
I'll give you a funny stat that's more against him before I go on. His foul percentage of 4.2% is the same as his steals plus blocks percentage, also 4.2%. And so he's fouling at the exact same rate as he's getting a steal or a block.
Sounds great.
Which is
awesome.
Funny. But like, he's one of the best defensive players in the league, and his offense is
he?
well.
Just told us that he's not. By those
I don't think. I genuinely do not think he is. I think he's been better in other seasons.
Teams cannot score at the rim when he's on the floor, and getting shots at the rim and converting shots at the rim is like the most important thing to an offense. And when he's on the floor, teams just cannot score at the rim. Like, whether he's playing the 4 or the 5, you will not score at the rim, which is just makes it so hard to build a good offense. Like, he guarantees you a certain level. Now, he is a really bad rebounder. That is an important factor. But compared to some other players, like, he has the offensive skill that you can play him at the 4. So you can play another 5 with him. He shot 38% on threes last year. That's good enough that he can be your 4. And that defensive versatility, the ability to cover either of those positions, I think has additional value as well.
Do we consider defensive versatility if when he plays the 5, they can't get rebounds, and then you have to play him next to a 5?
This is all leading to Zach Edey top 100. Where all roads lead to Rome.
Yeah, like if he's going to play the whole season with Zach Edey as his 5, like, they're going to be fine. They're going to get rebounds.
Yeah.
They, with Zach Edey, his most used lineup last year was with Zach Edey, and they rebounded about 79% of opponents' misses, which is a very, very high rate. And they had a 100 defensive rating with that starting lineup. 100? Team just could not score. So part of his value is that his offense is good enough that you can play him as a 4, where his rim protection then becomes, sort of duplicative.
I think I'm in. I think I get it. Yeah, because with Bam, go ahead, Nate.
Before you're in, Zach Edey has an ankle injury and is out for the next 4 months as of June, to be evaluated in mid-October for a more finalized date. The Grizzlies have already said he will not start the season. 7'4" player with ankle injury is having an off-season surgery. Just saying, if we're gonna say him next to Zach Edey is very good, I thought about this for a Zach Edey top 100 case. There's a good chance Zach Edey's not there.
It's not just him with Zach Edey. It's that you can pair him with any traditional big man, and then his defense becomes, supercharged. Like you can find a Zach Edey anywhere, not him exactly, but you can find a 7-foot guy who can box out. There are 50 of those guys around the NBA, and so that sort of versatility from a team building perspective makes it very easy. Like, you can find a center who can box out.
Are there 50 guys who box out?
A lot easier than you can a guy who's going to really protect the rim at a very high rate.
Question how many guys actually box out.
Hang on. Maybe if I go.
Does NBA have that on their tracking stats? Because I know they got it somewhere, but
I could do
box outs. They have their own box out thing. What's a good number of box outs that you feel?
Well, that's the hard thing, is that everything's like comparing to other guys around the league, and so it's hard to say. What I would look at is,
so Domantas Sabonis, of guys who played a reasonable number of games, leads the league. Do we want to guess how many box outs Domantas Sabonis averages?
I feel like this is one of those things where it's like he boxes out on every single shot that's taken. But is it 6? Are these even being counted?
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Aaron, because it's 3 per NBA.
Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? Like 3? What is a box out? A box out's every time a rebound, like a shot is taken.
And like there's like this is one of those ones where I think looking at the team data is much more better than looking at tracking. So like Sabonis, he gets 3 box outs per game. And it's like, okay, cool. But then also his team, rebounds 80% of the opponent's misses. And you're like, oh, so when Domantas Sabonis is on the floor, no one can get an offensive rebound. Like that probably is more instructive than the fact that he gets 3 box outs per game.
That's why he's the best rebounder in basketball.
He's one of the best defensive rebounders in basketball.
That's why he's a good defensive player. Holy shit, we're almost there. Wait a second, keep going.
Speaking of keeping on going. Speaking of keeping on going and the round mound of rebound, a man who looks like the round mound of rebound, Zion Williamson, number 33. Dylan, or Aaron, why is he number 22 on your board?
Guys, you got to buy in one last time. Buy the dip while it's here. He's going to be healthy this time, I promise. It's going to be okay. I just feel like it's so easy just to say he's fat and out of shape and is not going to play in a bunch of games, but it'd be so much better if he was healthy and I was right about this. Because like when he plays, he is a blisteringly efficient, like 27, 25 points a night. He puts so much pressure on the rim. He was hitting mid-range shots last season. I just want to do this right one more time, guys. Just once more.
It's going to be hard to prove your point because they've built such a stupid fucking team around him. That like I can still see a world where Point Zion is like the best player on a really good offensive team, and like he's like versatile enough that you can put different kinds of players around him that gets you to be on a really good team. But they instead put, they've got Jordan Poole who's gonna never give him the ball, and freaking, they've got only centers who can't shoot or rebound or protect the rim. And so like it's gonna be hard. This was like the inverse of the Trae Young argument, where like we're gonna know for sure on Trae Young, whereas with Zion, I think I can still see the vision where Point Zion is a very high level player, and we're just not going to be able to prove it.
Zion is going to his age 25 season.
No in our hearts.
He's in his physical prime.
I wanted so badly for Zion to make his way to Detroit this offseason. There was pathways just for this to happen. It was like, okay, if the Pelicans are going to reset and try to go a different way, which I think they should have done, and they very much have said no by trading away their draft pick.
Look, the Pelicans don't have a plan at all. They're not trying to do anything. They drafted a on-ball point guard and an on-ball center, and they traded away their draft picks. So like they're gonna suck. They haven't built around their best player, and they also don't have a fix. Like you can't say they're trying to do something. They're not trying to do anything. They don't have any plan at all.
They put Troy Weaver in charge of basketball operations. I mean, technically they put Joe Dumars.
That fucker.
They put Dumars, who put Troy Weaver.
Oh my god. Joe Dumars is the worst GM that's ever existed in the history of basketball.
Do you think Joe Dumars thinks that Jeremiah Fears is going to be like a winning player this year?
I have no idea. All I know is that Joe Dumars has not made a good basketball move since the invention of the three-point line. Like since you had to take threes to win basketball games, like circa like 2012, he hasn't done anything right.
Yeah, which is such a shame because the Rasheed Wallace move, I feel like he's
one good move.
Well, that's like, hey, let's get a big man who can stretch. 2003, 2004 season.
Okay,
but like,
Aaron, were you even born then?
Yes, I would have been 4.
Has Joe Dumars made a good basketball move since you've been able to spell your own name?
Yeah, probably, right? No, because the Pistons started to go downhill. Like, yeah, I guess it depends on when I was able to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. For all the reasons you said to be out on Zion, I'm kind of just out on Zion. In a similar case to my Embiid scenario, it's just like, all right, the guy's never healthy. We got to start walking him back. I understand the talent. I understand that if Zion could put together a 75-game season, we'd be like, oh, is this an MVP guy? But like, I think the hopeful case is, can he play 50? Like, That's
You gotta buy
where
it
I'm
now,
at.
guys. You gotta buy it now. I wanted to say, like, do you think that Joe Dumars knows why the Rasheed Wallace deal was good? Just like for the reasons that work. Does he have any idea? It probably feels like even the things that he does do right, he's way off based on why it was successful.
It was actually just like a broken clocks thing. Like he was like making a dumb decision, and it just happened to actually work out.
I mean, trading for Rasheed Wallace at the time was really stupid. Like that was a bad idea that ended up really working out. Maybe he was like disappointed. He's like, man, like I really wanted to. So he kind of trying to fuck this up. But...
I'm trying to find the quote from him in the Detroit Free Press's like championship little pamphlet that post that title run, where he basically says like, yeah, it was kind of a no lose scenario, where it's like, fuck it, we gave up like Chucky Atkins to get this guy. If it failed, we could just cut him. Like, doesn't really matter. It's like, this was a brilliant move. This was an awesome move that you got this guy for an absolute steal. And your own quotes of the thing was like, you know.
Yeah,
we figured it wouldn't hurt.
There's the proof. His greatest move was he was like, it's probably not going to do anything, but like it's not going to make us worse.
Yeah. All right. We got to keep rolling.
Yeah.
In here, Jimmy Butler, another move that didn't make them worse. Actually, do you know what Jimmy Butler's offensive and defensive rating was last year? Or more the net between the two?
I froze for this, what you just said.
All right, I'll just tell you to keep things moving quickly. Jimmy's offensive rating over the course of the entire season, 136, and defensive rating, 13.
It's good.
Or sorry, 113.
Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. That's good.
13 defensive rating, Jesus.
Yeah, God, if you were putting up a 13 defensive rating, you'd be a fucking god.
That's what the Spurs are going to put up this coming season.
Yeah.
Another for Wembanyama, the opponents are going to score 13 points a game.
So Jimmy's going to be 36 years old. I can't imagine like he's locking in for the regular season, but it's so tricky because the Warriors have to be locked in throughout the regular season to make the playoffs in the West. Is going to be so brutal. And last year, like he got to dick around for half the year because he was trying to get traded, and then he had got like 30 games of just like the best Jimmy Butler you could find. And so I kind of looked at this and said, like, I don't think Butler is going to be like in that all-star range. Like he's probably gonna be closer to 40 given like the overall impact, even though come playoff time, like, yeah, of course I want him, but you got to make it there first. And with the West looking like it is, like there's really no guarantees for Golden State.
I feel like he'll at least be more locked in than last year. Like if last year was a complete fuck around and, you know, do nothing, and this year we got like a 70% locked in, like we'd had the last couple of years with Miami. Yeah. I feel like that plus Curry's level will get you to, I don't know, 45 wins.
Yeah. Like he probably has to lock in because there are 12 teams in the West that are going to win 50 games. And there are like 6 NBA players on his team. Like he probably has to lock in just to
he's missing 40
not be in the play-in.
He's missing. You're asking him to lock in starting in October. He's getting hurt.
Look, he's a lock to miss 25 games a year. Like that's a guarantee. And then, you know, maybe he'll miss some more, but like he's gonna have to lock in during the regular season.
Yeah. We have a 20 pick spread for Zion Williamson. We have a 5 pick spread for Jimmy Butler. It just feels right. Like we know what he'll be when they get to the playoffs, but the real kind of lowering of him is just that regular season.
Yeah. I really love when we get like these massive spreads and then there's like one player that we like just unanimously agree. Like, yeah, Jimmy Butler's the 34th best player in the league.
Yeah,
and we all agree.
Same for the next guy too. Same for Tyrese Maxey. A spread of 4.
Yeah. Maxey's our 35th guy here. I'm technically the high man with 33. Aaron's the low man with 37. Maxey's going to be the best player on the 76ers for a large part of this season. I think the roster that they're building around him is going to be able to move a little bit better. I'm very intrigued by him, Edgecombe, and Jared McCain as like a 3-guard rotation, and how that's going to play out.
You think he's going to be the best player on the Sixers? What are they going to
Well,
win? 27 games? Like, we're so screwed.
Embiid's gonna miss 50 games, and Paul George is
That's terrible. Is that the worst best player on this list so far? Like, if that's a word.
No, we haven't talked about the Charlotte Hornets yet.
Well, sorry, like so far. I guess that makes sense.
Yes, of all the teams that we've discussed, their best player ahead of him, they're better.
Sorry, dumb question. I guess I did mean like for everybody. Yeah, the Hornets and okay, so Utah. But that's the Hornets though, and like Washington and Utah, like these are tanking teams. Like you're gonna put Maxey as their best. All right, that's fine. All right, it's gonna be a tough season. It's gonna be a long road. And Dylan, do you want to explain why Zubac is the best center in the league? Our next guy.
Is he next?
He's next. We had him at 44 and 46. You had him at 26.
I think with Zubac, it's the idea of floors and ceilings. With Ivica Zubac, your defensive floor is like top 7. Like he's one of the best rim protectors in the league. He's an elite rebounder. He's a great communicator. Like you're gonna be a good defensive team if you have Ivica Zubac. And then your offensive floor is also, really high, or your offensive ceiling rather is also very high. You can be a top 5 offense with Ivica Zubac on your team because he's a good passer, he's a good roll man, he offensive rebounds, and he's got the best post hook in the NBA. And so a guy who guarantees you a certain level on defense and doesn't cap your offense, I think is very valuable. He's sort of the last of the he's one of the higher level two-way players in the NBA.
I get it. I guess so little of it's like self-created. Like I really feel like Harden is so responsible for so much of that.
He does get plenty of like straight up post up buckets.
Look at this final stretch of the season. He was like really, really good. He isolated this real quick.
He made a really strong case to be All NBA at the end of last season.
Yeah, 13 and 66% shooting.
I think that part of that case is also just a lot of the guys that we've listed ahead of him already missed pretty significant time. So,
just for reference, he has the most post-up touches of any player outside of Nikola Jokic. He gets as many post-up possessions per game as Alperen Şengün or Giannis, and then is very efficient scoring out of it. And so there is like a little bit of, you can just chuck this guy the ball and he'll get you a bucket.
Can we put him above, let me see. God, it would make so much more sense to have him above like Jaren Jackson, because I do kind of agree. Because he's better than Bam Adebayo. Like, what am I talking about?
Yeah, you had him 11 spots below Bam.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
that's
it gets hard when you're comparing guys who aren't the same position, right? Mm-hmm. Where like you're like, oh, like this guy's clearly better than this guy. Then there's all these guys at different positions in between, and you're like, is he better?
I should have ranked. Yeah, I should have ranked by position. Well,
I mean, it's not too late, Aaron. You can do some shuffling and just do it fast.
Yep.
The thing I will say about
where does that put him?
The 5th best defensive center in the league, the 2nd best post-up player in the league, guarantees you a good defense, can be part of an elite offense because he's done it multiple times.
Out of guys ahead of him who played the minimum number of games needed, only 2 have a better net defensive rating. Only 1 scores more points per game than him. Only 1 scores fewer points per game than him. But only 2 guys have as good or better offensive ratings. So, if we're just looking at offensive and defensive rating, 2 guys have better offensive ratings, 2 guys have better defensive ratings. We can talk about how little he is creating of this. And I do trend to be more with Aaron on this, but I made a case for him to be All NBA last year.
Yeah, Nate, I think I need your help, because if I put him at 30, then he moves up a couple to one spot on this list. And if we both move him up, then
so this has to be a tag team effort. Oh yeah, I'm seeing guys right and left that can move him over.
There, I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna do that. Here's my adjustment.
Let's see, where does that get him? Hey, when we have to do this stuff live.
He's at 32 right now.
Where did he go?
Okay. He's right behind Bam. You got to keep going.
I'm working on it.
I like how you're adjusting all the rankings. I put 3-0 and then that box send it out.
No, you got to move the guys around him to move him up.
I'm not doing that.
Because otherwise you're gonna mess with everything else.
No, it's still fine. It's all the same.
All right. There we go. I've got him up to 39 in my individual rankings. What does that do?
Nothing.
It's
Nothing
still
at all.
Still right behind
the same spot. Here, let me help you out. 3-0. Oh, look at that. He's right where you want him to be. And there he is. Perfect.
That puts him. Okay, we're not doing that.
All right, there you go. Moving back. God, we're so fucking smart. Moving back one. There you go. All right, we're so good, guys.
I don't know what's happening. All right. I don't hate what happened.
Better than Trae Young now. This is great.
No, this is terrible. This is.
No,
I'm revolted.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, moving back.
I can have him over Jaren Jackson. There we go. We got.
All right. See, we nailed it.
Over
That's exactly where I wanted him.
Perfect.
Now we get to talk about Domantas Sabonis. This is great. He makes the
player
Kings way better offensively. He makes the Kings much better defensively. For a season that was completely lost and horrible, the only reason we were close to 500 was he played in basically every game and was good in all of them. There's a metric for consistency. How many times did this player have a good game? And it was basically Sabonis and SGA are the only players in the league that never had bad games, because Sabonis he rolls out, he gets 18 points on good efficiency, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, and makes a positive impact. It's hard to play winning basketball next to DeRozan and Levine, and Sabonis actually kind of did that for a time being.
I don't know. Sabonis is just West Coast version of Bam Adebayo. Better offensively, worse defensively, but
basically, right?
Yeah, they give you a high enough floor that you're never truly bad, but they're also limited enough that your ceiling's not that great.
I will say he's much more efficient. He shot almost 60% from the field. Bam shot 48%.
Points per shot attempt of 1.3 is astronomical.
Yeah. So Bam shot 36% on threes, 2.8 attempts per game. Sabonis took 2.2 at 42%. Just saying, guys.
Okay. Keeping things moving here.
Yeah, keeping things moving.
Amin Thompson. Quite the come up for the young man. He is the first player that did not make last year's top 100. Aaron, you're the really high man with 35. This guy didn't even start the start of the season for his team. Finished strongly. Amazing defensive player. But where are you expecting him to have this incredible leap?
His development offensively has been so steady. He really shows a lot of flashes, and his twin brother doesn't get as much opportunity to really work on that. But in Houston, he's gotten these chances to really show these flashes offensively. Now with Durant coming in, his role will look a bit different, but I still feel he can really contribute as a cutter and as someone going towards the basket. And if for someone who can score 20 a game, just looking at the final stretch of the season, he's giving us these 20-point performances on really good efficiency, while being kind of the premier wing defensive player in the NBA. Probably Jalen Williams is better than him, but he is so athletic, 0.001 percentile. He is just unreal in that regard. I think I used the percentiles wrong. Shouldn't it be flipped? Or is 1%? No. 1% good? No, 1%
What-
bad. He's a
one-
Yeah, no,
99.
you'd be like 99.
99%.
99 percentile. But yeah, this is a positive thing. Uh, I think his development has been shocking already, and I'm not going to get off the train quite yet.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
think you should get off the train. I think maybe don't put quite as much coal into the engine of the train, but
No,
you know,
he's going to be great.
I don't hate it.
14 points, 4 assists, 57% shooting, 56% shooting, while being first team all defense. Like, hey man, take it.
Looking at the shooting splits, like Cleaning the Glass splits it out into like by zone, so to speak. At the rim, 72% from a guy that's 6'6". Like that's there are 7-foot centers who don't shoot 72% at the rim. And then he took 188 shots from what they call short mid-range, which is basically like floaters, and shot 45% on that, which is a perfectly good number for quite a difficult shot. The three-pointer was still bad, 29% on the 85 attempts, but it's 13% better than it was the previous year. Like if he can just hit a wide-open, uncontested spot-up shot, and then also is one of the best driving and cutting players in the league, and also is the best defensive playmaker in the NBA. Blocks shots, gets steals, gets offensive rebounds at an insane rate. Like teams could not keep him off the glass, really on either end. Like this is a very unique and I think potentially incredibly impactful player.
Well, one of the big differences that we saw in his 3-point shooting last year to this year was the number of corner threes. In 24, he was attempting about a third of his threes from the corner. This past year, it's 58% of his threes from the corner. So that does definitely correlate with it, with the jump, is getting those easier 3-point looks. And I think I would both like to see him take more top of the key threes, because that, in my mind, means he's doing more ball handling responsibilities. But when he's not handling the ball, he will get a lot of really easy corner 3-point shots, which will continue that upward trend in 3-point percentage, comfortability, and really just open looks. I mean, I don't know how many guys that you're really running two at on Houston that then when the ball swings, you're going to have open looks. Now that Durant's there, in theory, that's going to create more open looks. I'm the low man at 46. I do think there's just more. He needs a little bit more time before he hits this this top 30, top 40 range of guys. But you know, I understand the appeal to rather be high than low on a young, exciting player.
He's one of the guys that your team plays against and you're like actually scared of. Like there are a lot of better players that you're not scared of, but like Amen Thompson is a guy that you just know is like, oh fuck, this guy's just gonna fuck everything up.
Yeah. When Aaron and I were doing our top 500, I found some Satch Sanders quotes. That's from like the mid 60s, where they're like, God, we were so happy when Satch would come off the court. Didn't matter. They put in like Hall of Famer, 20 points per game guy, Tommy Heinsohn, who maybe could have been Finals MVP one of those years. Like, thank God that this defensive menace came off. And Elgin and Baylor's like, yeah, if I never saw that man again, I would be so happy. That's what Amen Thompson could be.
It's like that legendary clip of Kawhi Leonard checking back into the game while LeBron's at the free throw line. You guys know the video?
Yeah,
it's like
no.
Like that's
you don't know that
that's the Amen Thompson effect as well.
Do you have Twitter?
I try to stay off of Twitter as much as possible. Yeah, I have it.
But Nate, didn't you hear? You can say the M word again. Free speech is back. You're allowed to say it on Twitter.
Again? Nate, you going to tell us? That's terrible. No, guys, don't. We do not endorse. We do not endorse.
It's a joke, guys. To be clear,
it's a joke. This is free speech is back, and that we're using it to make a joke.
Comedy's back, guys.
we revived comedy. Tyler Hero, our next guy. Talk about an efficiency jump. 59th percentile in points per shot attempt last year, now 90th. How does he do it? Well, he takes a lot more layups and 3-pointers now. No more pesky mid-range shots. Get to the rim. Make your threes.
I'm really interested to see Tyler Hero as like kind of the best offensive player for Miami this year for the full year, having a training camp to plan around it, because I think we could see maybe even a little bit more of a leap from him, or at least the same consistency where last year does not look like an abnormality or an aberration.
Yeah, and especially if he can continue to develop as a playmaker, which he has done every single season, since he's been a starter. He continues to get better at creating shots for his teammates.
I bet next time we do this, Hero is above Bam.
Ooh, that's spicy.
It's a guarantee.
I keep trying to figure out who are going to be the good teams in the East. And I don't just mean like good in comparison to other East teams, but like who could actually be good. And I hate myself, but there's so much of me that's like, I really like what Norm Powell did last year. I kind of like what Hero's development was. Maybe I can buy back into the Bam hype one more time. And I will remain an Andrew Wiggins fan just indefinitely. Is like the one guy I won't quit, the same way you won't quit at Zion. So I'm like, maybe Miami actually is like a top 4 seed in the East this year.
What a sad top 4 seed. What a sad. Yeah, maybe they could win 48 games and be a 4 seed.
Relegate the entire conference.
But you know who will be a 4 seed? The Orlando Magic, led by Desmond Bane. The next time we do this, Desmond Bane is going to be the best player in Orlando. Why is that? Takes 6 threes a game, 39%. Almost a 90% free throw shooter. A plus defender. A positive playmaker at 5 assists per game. He is an absolutely elite shooting guard, and he's gonna fix their spacing issues. Banchero has to get to the basket now. He has no other choice.
Here's
I don't know that even Bane can fix the shooting issues.
No, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good.
Yeah, he's like sort of the
last year.
Yeah, and he's sort of like the last of the complete players, where he can create his own shots and is also an elite spot-up shooter. He's an efficient scorer and a high-level playmaker. He's not a great defender because he's got like he's built like 6'5" Blake Griffin
arms.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like he's strong.
But he's so strong. Yeah, like you're not going to go through him, and he's not just going to like quit the way that some other strong guys like James Harden might do. He'll still get some steals despite having negative wingspan. He'll still block the occasional shot despite having no wingspan and being like undersized as a wing. And also one thing that's going to really help with the Magic is that he will gladly jack them from like really deep. Like he gives you plus spacing by being able to take and make really deep threes.
I maintain my stance that Suggs will be a better Magic because Suggs is the true defensive engine that makes Orlando go. But
Jalen Suggs, the real best player in Orlando. Do the Orlando Magic even really exist?
I was the high man on Jalen Suggs. I'm with you, mate.
There we go.
Did you have him above?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Just remember,
I was just also really high on Desmond Bane, so they ended up separating.
Just remember, last year, Paolo goes down. Franz is able to carry the offense, but the defense rocks solid. Team still wins. Franz goes down. The defense rocks solid, able to find offense elsewhere. They're able to remain about the same. Paolo and Franz comes back. Jalen Suggs goes down, and boom, the team torpedoes. Suggs is the true Magic man.
I think Nate's actually figured something out. Then why is Paolo Banchero the 14th best player in the league? All right. We have another Eastern Conference shooting guard in our next spot, which we are all perfectly aligned on. Only 2 spots of difference. Nate, why do you hate Derek White at 44? That's so low.
That's higher than you guys.
Oh, wait, sorry. Why do you love Derek White? My bad. Well, what's Derek White so good at? 44 is ridiculous.
I think
45 it was more precise. Dylan at 46, very tasteful. 44 is just too high.
I think this is going to be a very telling year for Boston, of who's actually real or not. And I, in general, do believe in and several other guys that could do more. I think that's why we thought of Jaylen Brown as, well, you guys never thought he was good, but why he was a good second option is because he has the ability to do more. I think he will have a good first year. I think Derek White sniffed all-star consideration last year. I don't know that he'll get there this year, but I think he's going to play a lot better in an expanded role. I think Boston's going to probably have to simplify the offense and do a little bit more traditional things. But he's probably going to be the lead distributor. He's also going to have a much greater presence with his defense, because last year they kind of split him and Holiday, even as rough as Holiday was, like defending guards. This year it's going to just be White, like White and Peyton Pritchard. So I think we're just going to see White do a lot more and get to be kind of the best version of himself at age 31. And then it all goes downhill from here.
White's an all-defensive level player that takes 9 threes a game at 38%. He's a very good connective piece with his passing. He's a really strong rebounder for a guard. And what's not to love? I know that the Trae Young, Derek White arguments were floating around Twitter for a while, and I'm telling you now it's closer than you think.
You know, this is closer than you think.
What?
Dylan and I's ranking of the next man, Lauri Markkanen, and who was our 42nd guy. Both Dylan and I put him at 42. Dylan, why do you love Markkanen?
He's really big and he can shoot really well.
That's important. I can't believe
there's a lot of value in it.
I'm like the number one Lauri Markkanen fan. But you know what? I think the reason that you guys are too high on him is you don't understand it. I've been here. I've been in the Lauri Markkanen fan club. I know that he's a top 25 player when he's healthy, but he's not going to be. They're not going to play him. Like Utah is going to be bad every single year of his contract extension. He's never going to be on a good team. He's never going to break 60 games played. He's stuck like this. There is no salvation on Lauri Markkanen Island.
Yeah, he's going to make his 50 million and play 50 games and lose 40 of them.
So I actually don't think it's that bad. If we look at this contract, it was signed at a time before the market or before the cap went up, and as a result, it's going to slowly become less and less. It's going to end up being less than a rookie max contract in a couple of years. Like, I don't know. Do you want to have one of the best floor spacing being 7-footers who can also kind of protect the rim as a weak side help guy? I think Utah would be wise to rehab his value the first half of this year and really go to him, even if they win some games. You know, the dreaded winning that Utah, wants to stay away from.
Don't threaten me with winning games. I don't think his contract's bad at all. It's just they're just not going to play it.
Did you see the genius from who's their GM, Danny Ainge's son? Did you see his genius press conference and then move? Where he's like, we are not going to intentionally lose games by not playing good players, and then trades away all of their good players. It's like, well, I'm not lying.
No one else left. Not lying anymore.
Yeah. You can't play Colin Sexton if you trade him with a pick to get Jusuf Nurkic.
Jusuf Nurkic. Do you see the quote today from, I think, Nurkic's like Bosnian coach? They say he's so fat he can't even run down the court.
That's his own coach as well. The guy's supposed to be.
Let me see if that was even real. Yeah, no, it says Bosnia coach calls out Jusuf Nurkic for poor shape. It says Jusuf Nurkic is out of shape and can barely run. That is the quote.
Do you know the story of how Jusuf Nurkic got on NBA scouts' radars?
Yeah, they pulled his dad over, and he was like 7 foot 400, and they're like, "Do you have any kids? Do you have any sons?"
Close.
Where's that Jokic?
Close.
Where's that Jokic?
No, that's you've got it close. There was a scout in Bosnia looking at some other prospect, and at his hotel in the morning, he got the newspaper, and in the newspaper, it was a story of a 7-foot, like 400-pound cop who like hand fought 13 gang members and took them down. And he, like, it mentioned that he like went back home to his sons, and he's like, I gotta meet this guy's sons. Like, do they play basketball when they were like 11? And he's like, can we get you in an academy, because you're gonna. And then this kid, like, Nurkic grew up in a basketball academy.
Huh.
That's incredible. That they need to make a movie about that. It's like what's the Juancho Hernangomez movie? Hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that, but instead of like running up and down hills, Nurkic is just like eating cheeseburgers.
Would you guys rate Hustle on your letterboxes? I know you're both big letterbox guys.
I had never watched it.
What?
I thought it was gonna suck, and then it was kind of decent. I feel like I gave it a 3-star.
Yeah.
Dylan,
Aaron.
why is OG Anunoby a 38 on your list? How could you do this?
Wait.
It's our next guy.
No. It should be Jalen Johnson.
Oh yeah, my bad.
And actually,
Man, Nate, 37. I feel like I had him up there, and then I was like, no, I'll move him back. Nate's back on the Jalen Johnson.
Technically, Jalen Johnson outdoes Lauri Markkanen. They're in a statistical tie.
Oh, they should flip that for sure. There you go. 100% flip that. Jalen Johnson's going to play in basketball games.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Johnson in this last year, 19 points per game, 10 boards, where it's like 5 assists per game, a block and a steal and a half. Like, the Hawks were good when Jalen Johnson was playing in the early part of the year. The case is just here that Johnson is going to continue to progress. Johnson is going to become back even better. And I think this is going to look low, having him here at 42.
That's so sad, because I had him up there, and I was like, nah, like, is he really going to be like, I had like 30 something. I'm like, am I really going to have that? But hey,
yeah,
Nate's always right about Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, looking at some of these guys that I have ahead of him, now I'm like questioning myself.
Listen,
because I do really like Jalen Johnson. Like, he's one of these guys who I love these forwards who just like make plays. Like 1.4% block rate is 85th percentile among players his position. 1.8% steal rate is 75th percentile. Offensive rebounds at a 74th percentile. Defensive rebounds best in the league for players at his position. Like, I love these guys who just make plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying. I was looking at it. I was like, am I really gonna have Jimmy Butler above Jalen Johnson, who had a weird injury? I mean, I actually don't know, but like, it's not like a chronic injury thing. Like, I trust Jalen Johnson's gonna play more games than Zion, and like, kind of does the same things. He rebounds, he play makes, he scores. Jalen is probably a better defender than Zion ever was. Like, well, not in the NBA at least. Zion was a beast in college, but I think Jalen's only going to keep progressing. And honestly, with how weak the East is, if Jalen's not an all-star this year, I'm going to be a little bit sad.
I can see that for sure. For the next guys, I wanted to ask you a question. Ask both you guys a question. Why is
a three-way tie?
Why is OG better than Mikal Bridges? Because I had OG behind Bridges. You guys had that flipped. What's the case?
I think he's a much better defender. I think Mikal's become quite overrated as a defender. I think OG, does he make more of his three-point shots as well? Like a more efficient scorer, even though he doesn't have Mikal's ball skills. I think the only way that I even had Mikal this close, I think OG is clearly a better player than Mikal, and then I ended up having them this close because Mikal Bridges can just play like 3,000 minutes a game of a season, and there's incredible value to that. Whereas OG does get hurt, but I think OG is a more versatile and impactful defender, and like, is he also a more efficient scorer? Let me check that.
I think he is a better shooter at this point, but I mean, Bridges definitely has more of the ball skills, more of the offensive creation. I Honestly, with OG, he is so big. He's 6'7", 230. He's gigantic. Like he's always so much larger than I feel like he is. Like he's probably 20 pounds heavier than Bridges, and that's really something. They don't really guard the same kind of people.
Yeah, like they end up with like incredibly similar efficiency numbers and scoring numbers, and then Mikal's obviously doing a little bit more of that self-created. Whereas OG is a more strictly dependent player. But then OG is a more impactful defensive player. But then you give Mikal some points as well because he literally never gets hurt and can play 37 minutes a game in 82 games, and there's value in that. And so then they end up grading out very similar.
Well, that's
so I was trying to figure out because we actually have a 3-way tie how this should break down because we just had these sorted by I don't know however they were put into the board. I actually think the final order should be Julius Randle ahead of OG and Mikal Bridges. And then
I think we should go by the lowest amount of differential, which is to say we agree most on Mikal Bridges and then OG and then Randall last.
Like, I think how it's organized is how it should go.
Spread.
I think Mike, the Google Sheets God decided that it's OG, Bridges, and then Randall, and I feel fine about that.
So with Randall, he is the first guy on both Aaron and I's rankings, third on Dylan, so 5 points that way. Bridges is third for Dylan and myself, second for Aaron. So 3 plus 3 plus 2, 8. Maybe I'm overcomplicating things. OG number 1.
That's probably what's going on.
I think the basketball gods have spoken.
Yeah,
it's OG, Mikal, Julius Randle, which just so happens to be the order that I put them in. The gods have smiled upon me today.
All right, where are we at? Let's see.
Well, we're at OG, Mikal, and Julius Randle.
How many people is that? That's 46. We're almost out of here.
To answer Aaron's initial question, with a slightly different answer, I put Julius above all of both these guys because I did think that his shot creation, especially in the second half of the season for Minnesota, what he when he came back from injury and kind of fit in a little bit better, was really helpful to the Timberwolves to unlocking their offense. And through the first couple of rounds of the playoffs, he was really good. Now, that third round, we do have a couple of shooting performances sub 20%. Not some things that I love. But Randall could carry Minnesota's offense at times in ways that OG and Bridges were not able to do for the Knicks. OG more so than Mikal, much to Mikal's disappointment, or much to my disappointment and Mikal. But I think it's really interesting that these three guys all ended up in a virtual tie in our rankings.
Well, Dylan, you'll have to explain. You have to really explain yourself on Jamal Murray. I had him 38th, Nate 40th. We were in lockstep. It's a 60th. Is it an injury thing? Is it a defense thing? Is he not actually that good offensively?
Like he's not a regular season player. Like he comes in every single season, he's out of shape. And then he misses 20 games. And then and then he kills whoever he's playing against in the playoffs. Like part of it is, I think, more this season I'm applying a Jokic tax where Nikola Jokic just makes it so easy for everyone around him to succeed. And like if you put Jamal Murray on a different team, would he be, the same level of efficient scorer? I'm not so sure. But I give him all this credit for being a playoff killer. I dock him for being fat every time he comes into the season and for missing these games. And then he's a decent playmaker for his teammates, and he's a efficient scorer for his position.
You're far too
Yeah.
low. You're far too low. He's gonna, when playoff time comes around, we're gonna say like, this is one of the 20 best guys left, and I think he's gonna kill whoever they play in the first round. But
yeah,
man, I have to explain myself. For the next one. Go ahead, Nate.
Well, I also just want to say for Jamal Murray, last year he was injured during the offseason and tried to play through it to play for Team Canada and in the Paris Olympics. Not very successfully, but it was a matter of pride, a matter of country or love for country. This year he should be rested. I would hope that he does not put off any offseason in injury rehabilitation until post-Olympics, as there are no post-Olympics. So I would expect him to come into the season looking a lot fresher.
It would be a first. It would be a first, but I'm looking forward. I really feel like the playoffs is what I'm weighting this as. He's gonna be 20 a night with 5 assists and 5 boards and fine defensively.
Yeah. You're probably right. I probably should have him a bit higher because like he is a efficient scorer and a playoff killer, even if he misses all these games and gets to play with the guy who makes it easiest to play in the entire NBA.
They each other is also, I think, it is important. I get the Jokic tax, but I mean, they're without a doubt. Like, I mean, they look like Shaq and Kobe sometimes. Like he is the best player never to make an All-Star game.
Listen, there's a reason why I dropped MPJ off of my top 100. Spoiler alert. I know you guys both have him here, so we'll probably make our combined rankings, but I was just like, MPJ's going to Brooklyn. He's going to try to be the man. Oh, no, this is not a top 100 player. Let's get him out of here. It's
too bad because I totally agree with you, and then my ranking does not reflect that. I was like, I think I mocked it out before he got traded. Because it's probably going to be very Jordan.
You got time. You make the adjustment.
Yeah, I guess before the next one.
One thing on Murray, he plays pretty much all the time with Jokic, only 1,600 possessions without him. But he is playing with some kind of crappy players when he's without Jokic as well. But they really do suck with Jokic off, even when Murray's on. 110 offensive rating in those 1,600 positions. So like if he's your primary offensive player, maybe you're not so great.
Well, I have some explaining to do for the next guy.
Scottie Barnes.
Can't shoot, can't score. Not a good offensive player. His team sucks. He's a slightly above average defender, and that is all. He's very unique. He's kind of funky, both in body and in play style. It's like,
personality.
Never seen this. Yeah, personality. I've never seen this before. He's not going to impact the game in any serious way.
Of players that are likely to make our top 100, he is going to be the guy with the lowest true shooting added, negative 126.1 over the course of last season, which speaks to his volume and his offensive inefficiency. I will say, as someone who watched, it's not good. But I will say, as someone who watched the Raptors play a lot, the Raptors were not good this last year. They were running a ton of rookies. Like, I don't know, Shed was getting a ton of minutes, Mobo was getting a ton of minutes, Battle got more minutes, Colin Castleton, and Lakers standout summer league player from a couple years back, came in and got big minutes. I am kind of hoping in that this year we do see a revision of Scottie Barnes' role where he is not asked to do everything. 20 points, 8 boards, 6 assists. That's a lot to put on a young player with an incredibly young supporting cast. I don't know.
So
I think
you're not going to ask him to do anything. Then what does it make him? Would it make him the defensive specialist? He's not going to have that scoring responsibility?
I think I would ask him to do all of that to a lesser extent. And I would ask of him, or maybe ask of Toronto, to better position guys around him. Like, Dylan, where's your Jakob Poeltl stock at?
Through the floor.
Exactly.
I think he made I put him 110.
Yes, you don't watch Toronto.
He's fine. There should be
no other Raptors. There should be no other Raptors in this top 100.
No, RJ
Hey,
Barrett made it.
I mean, I
Emmanuel
guess
quickly can make some shots
Yeah,
when
RJ
he's healthy.
Barrett.
quickly doesn't play.
I think, yeah, yeah, when he plays. I think the big thing with Scotty is, like, we're judging him in the role that he's in, which he is underqualified for. And I think I'm giving him some credit for the way that he could play in a role that he is better suited for. I think Pascal Siakam is a good analog for this guy of like when Siakam was the guy for Toronto, they fucking sucked. And then you put him on a team where it's better suited to his abilities and he's more in a role that he should be in, which is a second best offensive player or your second option. I think Scotty's efficiency would improve, which is the biggest thing. Like the passing was good. He makes some plays defensively, even if he's a little bit overrated there. But the thing that he really isn't good at is just efficiency. If he wasn't asked to create everything and didn't have to go to all these difficult mid-range jump shots all the time, then maybe the efficiency would be better. And I think there is a good and impactful player there. Mikal Bridges style. If he was asked to fill the same offensive role as Mikal Bridges, do you think he'd be so much worse than him? I'm not so sure.
I mean, I almost look at him because of his size and strength of closer what you said with Pascal or like a Jalen Johnson. Like if you put him next to another good point guard, or I think Scotty Barnes as a secondary creator would be fantastic. I think about like Aaron Gordon asked to run the Orlando Magic. It can be like their best player, him and Vucevic for time. And it was just terrible. I think if you flipped Aaron Gordon and what we currently have for Scotty Barnes, Denver is so much better. And like Gordon had an amazing playoff run. I mean, Gordon was bombing threes. He isn't like this was the best we've seen of Gordon. So like, take that for what it went.
Disagree with that, by the sense that he's bombing threes. He was like 40% from three, while being an elite defender. And so much of the Scotty issue is he cannot shoot threes. Like from any distance in any situation, he's shooting 20% in practice. Like he's not hitting 3-point shots, and so like that value isn't going to be there. Even when Siakam was alone on the Raptors, yeah, the Raptors weren't as good. They were 500 the next season. They blew it up and they weren't as good. But
this is the first year we've ever seen Gordon hit threes, though. Gordon was 29% last year.
Yeah, but he hits him in the playoffs. That's the thing.
Sure.
He hits him in the playoffs. He was 40% last year. He's a 38% playoff 3-point shooter. I don't give a fuck with the regular season. He's hitting 38% of those. And so you're never going to get that from Barnes. And to the Siakam point, I was going to say, like, he was still like 22 a night on 55% shooting, even when the Raptors weren't good and they were blowing it up. Like, Siakam proved his value. Like, I don't want the bad players on the bad team. That's my final Barnes take.
Siakam at age 27 is different than we're getting Barnes is growing. Barnes is maturing. If you want to tell me that 23-year-old Scotty Barnes is
statistically, he's gotten worse every single season.
The team has gotten worse around him. Like
you want to see more from that. Like, all right, we'll move on. We have two guys left. Two skyscraping centers, Jared Allen and Rudy Gobert. Basically the same archetype. Last year we had Gobert 24th and Allen 55th, and Gobert 24th. Now in the exact same spot. Do we think Rudy Gobert's washed?
He's
24th. God.
He's washed adjacent. He is the that heliocentric defense that he had been in the past, where you throw him out with 4 negative defenders and you're still a top 10 or top 5 defense. I think that is decreasing, where he does now need a little bit more help defensively, but he's still an elite defensive player.
Mm-hmm. Murdered the Lakers. Murdered them.
Offensively.
Yeah, 27 and 24. Sent Luka and LeBron James packing. The Rudy Gobert game. He's so bad offensively In the 4 games prior to that, he averaged 3.5 points on 30% shooting. Like you can't even give him the ball in the playoffs, which is problematic. But he still is one of like the 5 best just pure rim protectors in the league, and that is the most important place to defend in basketball.
Yep, like he it's almost like it's almost become underrated how bad of an offensive player is. Like he can't even finish on an offensive rebound. You can't even like give him a dump off pass. Like if he's not catching a lob, like he's just gonna throw it off the back of the backboard or turn it over. But having him on your team still does guarantee you a very high defensive floor.
Yeah, in the playoffs, his true shooting was 58%. That's true shooting. It's 68% over the course of the regular season. And, like, he went against the Lakers. There's not a big man to stop him. So, it truly just speaks to his own offensive limitations.
Yeah.
Also, he's getting older. He's going to be 33 this next year. I think Rudy Gobert is shit on way too much. But I think this is a realistic he's going to be seeing a decrease in minutes. He's going to be seeing probably a decrease in his role, and maybe situationally, has games where he's at like 20-ish minutes because it's just the wrong matchup for him at where he's at in this stage in his career. And I think Jarrett Allen, while he is not asked to do very much and is not as good of a defender as Gobert, I think even in this stage of their career, the ability to finish offensively is still really helpful. And I say it every time, but Allen is the guy that the Cavs keep on when the other team has their better big man on. He is asked to do a lot defensively. So, yeah, I like it. I think Allen is the better of the two this upcoming season.
Yeah, Allen a much better offensive player, and Gobert still a better defensive player. But Allen's still a very good defensive player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a A- defender in Allen and a defender in Gobert for this next year. But you have, as far as like at least an offensive finisher, an A+ in Allen and like a C in Gobert.
Yeah, Jarrett Allen averaged the most points per shot attempt of any player who played any minutes. Like he's not shooting a lot, but when he's putting it up, it's going in.
Lobs and dunks, baby. All right, gentlemen, this has been 26 through 50. Aaron, where can the people find you? You're on mute.
On mute.
You can find me nowhere. No, Possible Chairs on TikTok, Possible Chairs on Twitter, my Patreon for lots of lists we make, and my Cameo for paid propaganda.
Wow. How much is a Cameo?
It's interesting. I get, I think, $7, but I'm not sure what Cameo is charging people because they take such a huge commission.
Right.
It might be 10. It might be 10, but usually when I do this services like that, I'm charging less than they're asked, than market value for Patreon or for Cameo. I don't know. I guess I don't consider myself a worthy celebrity.
So just to be clear, you will make any propaganda piece that you believe in, as long as people give you $7.
Yeah, that's true. I'll never make rage bait unless I'm paid $7 to do so.
It's a bargain.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to send you, say, $10 to rank your favorite NBA TikTokers, would you do that?
Probably not. I probably wouldn't do that.
You don't think that would cause enough rage? What if
could we do your Could we do your bottom 5 NBA TikTokers?
My bottom 5.
Can we just...
I'll
just a full beef pod.
Yeah,
a full beef post.
Yeah,
who do you hate the most?
Here are the dumbest fucks on NBA TikTok.
All right, Dylan, where can the people find you?
Every week on the Hoops Temple podcast.
Find me Nate_Hoops on YouTube and TikTok. Email the show, hoopstemple@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us why you think Aaron is wrong about Scotty Barnes.